Alright, so we're going to do a quick teardown of a Ruger LCP. This gun's pretty simple, doesn't even have a safety on it or anything, there's not much to it. First thing I want to do is make sure you don't have any chamber, which I do not. Alright, go ahead and dry fire it. And then, you gotta be careful with this because you can't actually scratch the side of the slide. But I take my pinky and I put it in the trigger guard. I kind of push back with my thumb. You don't have to push it back far, just a little bit. And that's kind of the trick here, just figuring out the soft part, or the exact part where you need to be. Push it back about right there. Alright, and you notice that's the C is pretty much centered right over that pin. That's a good tell of where it needs to be. Alright, then you can go ahead and pull the pin completely out and put it aside, and obviously don't lose it. Alright, then you just slide the rail forward, and there's really not much in the base of this frame. It's very light and there's not much to it. I would get a Q-tip and some solvent and get it cleaned out, and then probably lube up the hammer and some of the mechanism on the back side there, but there's really not much towards the front. And just set that aside. Alright, so then we got the rail, and this spring right here, there's actually two springs on top of each other, or one on top of the other, and this will actually come apart. It's not like the Glock and the spring filter where it's all an assembly. So when you take it out, you want to be careful it doesn't go flying on you. So you just pull it out, release tension, and then drop it down. Alright, and you'll notice that there's a spring inside of a spring, and inside there is a metal rod. So I'll put that back together. And the flat metal rod goes towards the inside of the firearm when you do reassemble it, so just make a note of that. And take the barrel out, pull it up and out, and that's it. And I would make sure that you clean and lube it up real well, especially this throat. I've had hollow points jam because it's such a steep throat, because it is such a small frame gun. I would just make sure this is good and smooth right here with where it loads the tip of the round in. And then I would clean up the inside of the rail and lube it up, make sure it's good and clean, and that's pretty much it. There's really not much to this pistol. So to put it back together, just exact opposite how we took it apart. Put the barrel back in. Alright. Then you want the springs to go in the nose of the pistol. And you do gotta be careful with this because it doesn't really like to stick in its place very well. Alright. So just push it down, make sure it doesn't come shooting off. And there's a little part that it rests on, so it'll stay on there. You can see about how it's supposed to be. And then just take and line up the slide rails. Okay, so now I got it pretty much on the frame. So once again, I put my finger in the trigger guard, use my thumb to press it back, and you pretty much want to line up the C with the hole underneath where this pin is inserted. That's about how far back you have to go. And that's it. That's how you reassemble an LCP. It's fairly simple. The hardest part is just figuring out where to line up that slide to get the pin out. So that's how you do it.